Hello and welcome back to my channel. So it is an absolutely stunning day today. The sun's out. I've actually got my sunglasses on. I'm wearing just a jumper. It is just such a nice day. I thought I'd take the opportunity and walk round to the allotment plot today. So it's about a 10-minute walk from me, and when I've got enough time I definitely try to walk as much as I can. And if it's a day like this, how can you not? I mean, just look at that, sun's out. We've got a tiny bit of blue sky, which we haven't seen for a really long time. It feels like anyway. So I'm making the most of it, definitely. The sun is right behind me, so I'm going to put you to my side so that you can see me while I'm talking, because I think if I put you this way, I might be a little bit dark. But I've got a few things that I did want to get done today. I want to plant the rest of my garlic. So a few weeks ago, I planted the majority of my garlic in the polytunnel. I was going to plant the rest last week in my polytunnel, but I got a big blister on my hand from planting 48 plug plants into the polytunnel. So it's all healed up nicely and I'm going to get them planted today. I also want to have a look at all of my beds. Let me see if that's a bit brighter now. Yeah, I think it's just because I was in a wooded area a minute ago. I also want to have a look and see how many beds need a mulch. So I know my asparagus bed definitely needs a mulch, and I know where I planted the 48 plug plants last week, that definitely needs a mulch. So they all need a nice layer of compost on top. But I just want to have a look and see how many other beds need a top up, and then I can go and pick up a few bags, however many I need, and bring them down to the plot and get them all mulch ready for winter. And then we'll see what else needs doing when we get down there. But I have actually brought my sandwiches down today, which I haven't done for a really long time. And I brought a nice mug of tea as well. So I'm going to hopefully have a really nice day down here today. I have just had a really nice lunch break. I've sat and eaten my sandwich and had a nice cup of tea, and now I'm ready to get going on the plot. So I really want to plant my garlic. I'll show you where I'm going to be planting it. So last week I planted all of these plug plants. So I've got kale, cauliflower, spring greens and broccoli. There's 48, so 12 of each variety. And I'm going to be planting the garlic right in between those, so interplanting the garlic in between those plants. I've already got garlic in this bed and it is coming up in places, and even here you can see, so some of them have come right up and some of them are just starting to come up. Another job for today is to split these bulbs. So they're the bulbs that I obviously missed when I was harvesting this year, and now they have started to grow again. So I just need to split them up and replant them so they've got a chance of forming a bulb each. I don't know if you can see this, but I've got a piece of wood chip just in the air, just flying, and I don't really know what it's attached to. Like when I put my hand over it. Isn't that strange? So this is the last of my garlic. So I've actually only got 2 of the Russian giant cloves, which I think I'm going to plant over in the mini polytunnel, because that's where I planted all the other ones. I don't want them to get mixed up. And then I've got all of these that I'm going to interplant on this area. So there's actually not many there, and this is the last of the garlic that I'm going to be planting. I say the last of the garlic, I've got so much garlic planted in this polytunnel, the mini polytunnel, so I've definitely got enough, but who can have too much garlic? So that's 33 cloves of garlic that I'm going to be planting in between my winter vegetables. So I've literally just put them, if you look at like the square that the vegetables are in, they're right in the middle. So I've just put them right in the middle. They'll have loads of space to grow. I'm going to plant them all the way in here. I'm going to use my trusty bulb planter, which I used the other side to plant the other garlic. This worked really well, so I'm going to try it this side. me that using this bulb planter for the garlic has changed my life. It's revolutionary. That was so much easier. That took me hardly any time at all. I don't know why I didn't use that when I was planting all of the plug plants. I might have saved my blister that I got with a hand trowel. Anyway, I'm going to water all of that in. This ground is still pretty dry. I want to get that balance of not being too wet. Obviously, great environment for slugs, but also it obviously needs to be moist enough for the plants. So I'm going to give it a bit of a water, not too much, just around the plants that I've planted, and then a bit more just to let it soak down, just so that the garlic can get some. But I'm really trying not to let it get too wet, but obviously not dry out. So that is now nice and watered, but I've tried not to get it too soggy. I've tried to find that sweet spot. Now for the garlic that I didn't harvest this year, I'm going to try and lift that up and split it and replant it. So I've just pulled them up and split them, and they've all got roots and they all look like they've actually started growing. So I'm just going to space them out now in this area as much as I can and just replant them individually. So they're all now really nicely spread out. It looks a little bit uneven at the moment because some of them were quite small, so they're right under the soil, but they should be spread out enough as they are. I haven't really got anywhere else to put them. I really don't want to put any garlic outside this year because they just get rust and they don't do very well. I wanted to keep them in the polytunnel. My mini polytunnel is full of garlic. I've just interplanted as much as I can where my winter plug plants are, and I'd already planted this end with garlic, and some of them haven't come up yet, so I wasn't sure where they are. So this was really the only space that I had to put them. So they're going to do better than they were when they were clumped up, and we'll see what happens next year when we harvest them. I need to be brave now because I need to go in my shed. I need to get some netting or something to cover my beds at home because something's been digging in them, and using it as a toilet where I've planted my strawberries in my garden. So last time I went in here, I don't know if you remember, I was met with a family of mice. So I'm going to try, and the fabric's right where the mice would be, isn't it? Of course it is. So I'm going to try and be brave and grab the fabric that I need. Okay, so I've got a bag of netting up here, which I'm going to look at, but the fabric's there, and that's where all the mice were. The mice were in this compost, and they were in that netting. So, okay, wish me luck. Here I go. Oh my God. So the family of mice, I think, have moved out. They've moved home because they're not in there. I've managed to grab my fabric. I'm going to use that on both of the beds. There's enough there for me to cut that into 2, and that will definitely do for this year. That will just keep them a little bit more protected from those animals that keep digging in my beds. Well rotted manure, I need to get 1 bag for my asparagus bed, and I've got another asparagus bed here which I need to do, but it's got nasturtiums in there at the moment and they're actually looking really good, so I'm going to leave that for the time being and just focus on this asparagus bed. So I need 1 big bag for that. And then in the polytunnel, it was 4 bags that did that side of the polytunnel, so I'm going to need another 4 bags for this side. These are the smaller bags, they're easier for me to carry. Even when I've got my trolley, I do struggle, so it's just easier for me to carry that sort of size compost bag. So 4 for in here, and I'll get 2 for in the mini polytunnel, so that's 6 bags of compost and 1 bag of well rotted manure. It's 1:45 in the afternoon and the sun is already going down. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really dark at the plot. It's just the sun is almost setting, and I forget every time we get to this time of year we don't have much sun, but I've enjoyed the sun today. It's been so nice to be down here, not have a coat on and have the sun out. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you again soon.